Yo guys, what's up? I'm Tim, and this is the Cash Kelly and AC Sports Report. Alright, so today, Roger Clemens, this is the big breaking news that everyone wants to flip out about. He's being indicted by Congress for saying he lied to Congress, which clearly, if anyone watched that, which I watched, it was like a 5-hour trial, well, not even trial. He brought it here. He wanted to go to Congress just to prove that he didn't do it, even though he really did, because he's that smart. But first of all, let me read you the definition from dictionary.com on what indict, or in this case indict, means. It means to bring formal accusations against as a means of bringing the trial. So, in the end, Barry Bonds was indicted in like 2006 or something like that, maybe 2007, maybe more recent. But we are still waiting for a trial because what difference does it make? If you're indicted and they're going to wait 3, 4, 5 years for a trial, fine. Think these guys care? I mean, Bonds will be out of it. He's got money. He can get a big lawyer. But Roger Clemens, really, you can't give it up now, I guess, because if you give it up now, you will go to jail because unless you can get some amazing plea deal. But really, I mean, you lied to Congress. All you had to say was, yeah, I took steroids. I mean, there's a level of some idiot reports it in a blog and you saying, no, I never took them. But that's kind of different than when you're on Congress under oath, and whatever you say, you have to tell the truth. If you don't tell the truth, you could go to jail. There's a difference, I think, with that and just saying, I never used it. Once you get to the Congress point, don't you just stop? Because Brian McNamee now, and that guy's a clown too, but he's got all the evidence in the world against Roger Clemens. He's got the other two guys, and Chuck Knobloch and Andy Pettit have pretty much admitted they've taken it. Andy Pettit, I really do believe, was for an injury to come back. But now with Roger Clemens, he has syringes with his DNA on it. I mean, with Clemens' DNA. What more do you need than that? Seriously, I mean, is there any doubt that Roger Clemens took steroids? I mean, people tell me that no, he didn't. Well, if you have a syringe with his DNA on it, I find it hard to believe he wasn't doing it. Now, would I like to know what was in those syringes? I guess. Before anyone says it, this has nothing to do with me hating the Yankees. I honestly can tolerate the Yankees. But Roger Clemens pitched for the Jays, Astros, and Red Sox, too. So this has nothing to do with the Yankees. This is just an overall Roger Clemens issue. Because I think at some point you just need to kind of fess up. And he's past that point now that he's got to go in with Rusty Hardin, or whatever that guy's name is, his lawyer. It's pretty sad when you know his lawyer's name. But he has to go in with him now and say, I didn't take it, when there's pretty much all the evidence in the world that he took it. Because he's gotten it this far, now he's going to be on Congress, now he's screwed himself. So what does Roger Clemens deserve? I don't know if you need to go to jail for this or whatever. I don't know all the legal stuff, and I shouldn't pretend that I do. But I just can't believe that it's going to take this to happen, probably some plea deal for Roger Clemens to admit that he took steroids. At this point, Bonds is really the only one. Sammy Sosa, who really cares? I mean, does anyone even know who that man is anymore? But Mark McGwire admitted it, Andy Pettit admitted it. All these guys have since come out and said, you know what, I admitted it. Fine. Personally, I don't even want to hear this anymore. When that Mitchell report came out, I was so excited. I'm like, I want to know who's taking steroids. I'm not going to root for them anymore. It was exciting then, but that was before I got into the blogging and all this stuff that I do now, and I didn't look at the side of what it did for MLB, because I was only like 11 or 12 years old or something like that. So, it was terrible for baseball. All the stars, it just made it look bad, and it accomplished nothing. That was one of the worst things baseball could have done, because it just brought out more names and more names. If you were doing it and you managed not to get caught, good for you, and I don't want to know. That's my new policy on this. Because I am so tired of hearing I honestly thought Manny Ramirez was clean. David Ortiz never surprised me. But Manny Ramirez, I just thought he was kind of a bum, jerk, whatever. But he was so fun to watch, and it was so fun to root for him. And, that came out. Manny Ramirez, he did it. Even he won't admit it, but, it's Manny Ramirez. Who knows? I don't even know if he knows what he's thinking. But, again, Roger Clemens has 3 or 4 years to prepare his case because Barry Bonds has been given all that much time. His trial has been set how many times and it's been pushed back? Honestly, I mean, isn't it a bit too far to have this stuff in court if they took steroids? Really, I mean, when the government stepped into this, it just all became a joke because the people that were sort of fans, they even found out how polluted baseball was with steroids. And it wasn't good for the game. And the Mitchell report was terrible. I mean, that brought out like 100-some names, and 70 or 80 of them were names that we didn't know, of good players that we all love to root for. Why? I mean, Bud Selig is an idiot, but that was even a new level there. And I've come to this conclusion with the commissioner. It's a title now, because Bud Selig did a ridiculous job with that. A lot of people commended him and said he did a great job. What did it accomplish? Bringing out a bunch of names and saying, you took steroids, you took steroids, you took steroids, because this trainer said that. Did I like to hear the names and know? Yeah. But at this point, I kind of wish I didn't know, because we are on to a different time in baseball. But the people who don't really watch baseball don't understand that. And they still think baseball's back in the steroid era, and they don't want to watch. And I don't blame them. Because honestly, baseball in the 90s was fun to watch, but they were on roids, and there was only so long that could last without it being figured out. And, it just wasn't good for the game. It was terrible. People say it saved baseball. Great. And because someone else wouldn't have come along and done that. That's what I read in this new book I got by, it's called Mike and Mike's Rules for Sports and Life. He said, Mike Greenberg said that they didn't save baseball. They just happened to get a little more interest in it one year, but they didn't save baseball. And steroids were a no-win situation because eventually someone was going to find out. And they had to know that. And maybe they just figured no one would care. Now, that might be what they thought. Maybe they figured no one would find out, some of them, because Bonds, he's never really failed the test. He's been on the clear. That's a designer steroid. But the whole steroid thing, aren't you just a bit tired of it? Because I am. I don't want to hear about steroids anymore. I love this new no-hitters all year. I mean, I kind of got tired of no-hitters too. But I love baseball, and I love how it's being played right now, even though Bud Selig's the commissioner. Because I just think that man needs to get out, because he is terrible. And his ideas are terrible. Everything about Bud Selig is a joke. But I love how baseball's being played now, and when I hear things like this come up, it only brings me back to this, like when 2004 and 2005, people were coming up and they were good at it. I'm thinking, is this guy on steroids? Can I trust these people? And that's not how I want to think. I just want to watch baseball. And if they're on some new drug, good for them. I don't want to find out, because I've gone through this one time with the steroids, and I don't want to hear it anymore. I'm Tim. This is the Cash Kelly and AC Sports Report, and I'll see you guys later.